1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, the big dick is here. Get ready. May we start?
All right, guys. Welcome back to another Tasty Tuesdays talk. I'm Zbrah, and today I got a special guest, the OG Princess Superstar.
You almost said Princess Stupid Star.
We got Princess Superstar.
Hi, everybody. What's up? I'm Princess Superstar. Great to be here on Tasty Tuesdays.
Tasty Tuesdays. It's
Wow.
always tasty on a Tuesday.
It's always tasty on a Tuesday.
Yes.
I love it.
We're going to have a tasty talk.
Yeah.
How you doing today, first of all?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy. You know, it's a good time in my life right now. I love being out in California. You know, I'm from New York.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's awesome. It's nice. It's warm. You know, it's good.
So I noticed that you lived in New York until just a few years ago, or was
Yeah.
it several?
Yeah, I came out here like 4 years ago, but I'm like a lifelong New Yorker.
Yeah. Well, I saw those New York. You went Pennsylvania and then back to New York. You were born in New York, and then
Did
came
a
back.
stint. I did time in Pennsylvania. One does time in Pennsylvania, like prison, and then then I got to New York again when I was 17.
So no influences from Pennsylvania.
I mean, okay, look, I'm really kind of being mean to Pennsylvania, but you know, because actually, like, there's some sick music that comes out of Philly. You know, Diplo, for example.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and of course, like the Philly sound, like in the 70s, Disco Inferno, all that, you know. But I don't know. I was living in the suburbs, so and going to like a weird private school, and like we didn't have money, so it's like, you know, you can just put those two things together.
You don't have money and you're going to a private school.
Yeah, you know, so it's like I didn't have the right stuff, you know, like to be cool or whatever. But yeah, I mean, but I do think that like rebelling against that sort of like made Princess Superstar in a way, because it was just like I didn't fit in high school, and I was like, well, I don't care. I'm just going to be as crazy as I want to be because I don't care, you know?
What type of creativity were you doing in high school?
Well, I was like definitely like a nerd, like in the theater club and this,
Drama.
drama and like, you know, and all that. And but here's a funny thing, and I tell this to my kid because, you know, I have an 11-year-old, and I was actually president of the Latin club, and like, you know, so I was like as dorky as you can get. But let me tell you, Latin is so amazing because it's just words. It's like the root of all English words, and so I know that like being president of the Latin club like helped me become a rapper.
Yeah, you know the English vocabulary quite well.
Exactly.
Have you ever read your Wikipedia?
I have. Although, like, I do have to say that, like, Wikipedia is like generally controlled by all the censors and people that run Twitter and all that. So I don't even know if it's accurate. But anyway, what does it say?
Well, usually like biographies are pretty accurate, I would say. I mean, I don't know every biography, I feel like you know, some biographies it does a gist of it, like especially if it's musician. Yeah, it just talks about their career. But in Wikipedia, and you could correct it if it's wrong. Yeah, they said you were part of a high IQ group.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
What is that called?
Mensa.
Represent.
Okay,
you have to have
listen.
like a 98 or above.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
So technically I do have a genius IQ, but here's the thing, guys. I'll let you in on a little secret. They will take a test from like when you were like 6 or something. I think when I was like 6, my parents tested me because I was like extra smart or something. So I did really well on this test as a 6-year-old. But then I took the Mensa test that was just online, like as an adult, and like I totally failed. So like, and I was like, well, let me see. I'll just use my test from when I was 6. So I got in.
So you just got kicked out.
Yeah, I got kicked out, and then I was like, well, take this test. I'm a 6-year-old genius, okay? Yeah. So that's my Mensa story.
That's crazy. Like, how does one get into the Mensa program?
You have to take this crazy test with like, it's really like, I sweat just even thinking about it because it's like you have to like put shapes together that like are impossible to put together. Like, I don't know. It's really hard.
I've never even looked up an IQ test, so it must be like every subject, right?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Well, no, it's just not.
Is
Like
it
there's like
brain
some
games?
weird. Yeah, it's
Memory
like,
games.
Yeah, it's like brain games, and it's really arbitrary. It's like things that like I don't think anybody would need to know in real life. That's why it's like intelligence is measured by so many things. You know, you've also got like EQ, your emotional intelligence, or like my husband. He's so like street smart and savvy with like I don't know navigating the world or that kind of thing. This is just really like if you know how to put like shapes together, and that can somebody I
As
don't
a
know
6-year-old?
yeah, like I don't know, it's like this weird shape thing. That's all I remember. It's like I don't know how an oval fits into a star 10 times. I don't know,
But you made it work, and
But I got in. I got in because I was a young genius. Yeah.
And then, so after being a genius, you just decided to go to New York and pursue music, or was it?
Yeah.
I mean, you went to NYU, I read as well.
Yeah, I went to NYU because, well, at that time I really wanted to be an actress. Yeah. And so I was like, I better go to New York to pursue acting. And so I went to NYU drama school and, yeah, I mean, it was an incredible experience, but I mean, college, I don't know. I've been talking to a lot of people who kind of think that college is like a waste of money and time, unless you're going to be like a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Like, I don't know why I really needed to go to NYU. I just wanted to go to New York. And that was like a nice package way of like my parents paying for me to go to New York. It's like, I'll go to college.
Do you think that was the same back then versus now? I mean, do you think a degree went further then than it does now?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably it did. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we just got light.
You got more light. Maybe we can change the camera.
Better light.
But you got your degree.
I got my degree. I got a BFA, Bachelor in Fine Arts. So it's like an acting degree.
And then did you go to auditions while?
So I did. I went to auditions and I would just get rejected. And
like most people.
Yeah, like most people. And then, but here's the thing. I was like, every day I would go home from acting class and like pick up my guitar and play. And I was like, I love music. Like that's what I want to do. I wasn't good enough or didn't know how to do music or whatever, but I do know that I was just obsessed with music. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't like that you had to go through a gatekeeper to get an audition, to get a job, And so I joined bands like right out of college. And I loved that you could just join a band and get on stage, and you didn't have to wait for somebody to be like, you're the one we want and all that. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the tough thing about acting, it relies on that gatekeeper, right? You got to be booked for a gig, but nowadays it's completely different. I mean, you just pull out your phone and start acting and post on YouTube, right?
Right.
I mean, you never know, but back in the day, were you doing theater?
Yeah, I was auditioning for everything. Yeah.
Soap operas, because I knew they were big back in the day.
Oh yeah, soap operas
in New York. They had some major, as the world turns.
Oh my God, yes, Days of Our Lives. I really wanted to get on Days of Our Lives. No, back then though, it was like the early 90s. So actually, I was in like a sort of more like punk New York thing. We didn't want to be on soap operas. You know? We wanted to be like, there was like these edgy theaters like La Mama and things like that. And like, that's what we wanted.
Well, I can imagine from your work, you would be doing something more avant-garde.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe with a comedic flair.
Yeah. I mean, like where I specialized at NYU is called the experimental theater wing. So it was like, I definitely always wanted to be like weird or like, and like that goes back to that high school thing of like, I don't give a shit. I'm weird, so I'm just gonna like invest in being weird, And I guess I just did that too. I just
What?
I've been putting out these like horrible, like I just put out like this Trader Joe's song. It's terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you make any grocery Costco or Trader Joe's songs on the way here?
No, but I got to tell you, like a couple brands have been reaching out to me. So like, I feel like, okay, great. Like if I can get paid for doing this fucking crap, like great.
Well, that's one thing you're good at. I mean, doing these kind of comedic songs. What would you call them?
Yeah, I'd call them comedic songs or like
songs.
ridiculousness, you know, like I love it. I have so much fun doing it. And half the time my kid's with me, like filming or whatever, and she loves it.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, who's probably... You're like in the Trader Joe. I mean, if no one's seen it, I mean, you're in the Trader Joe's and like, you like, get this and get that. And I'm like, what is, people are probably like, oh, it's just Los Angeles.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's just a TikTok, like whatever.
Yeah, the Costco one was funny.
Yeah, thanks. That one, that actually sort of went viral, like on TikTok. Like it's so crazy. Like I think it's up to like 128,000 views. Like people
so it's getting,
really like that.
they're watching it and they're sharing it.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? I'm just having fun.
That could be your new...
my new niche, but I will never settle down into a niche. Like I you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, and actually the song that's coming out on the 12th is a little bit more serious, and it's called Who Am I Now? And it's sort of like, wow, I've been in this game for like 30 years, and like, who am I now? And it's sort of like exploring that on a more deeper level. So.
Well, it's totally different than this Pussy Still Pops.
That was really fun. I turned 50 and I was like, I'm getting older, but I ain't never gonna stop. I'm getting older, but the pussy still pop. We needed to make an anthem for aging ladies.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one thing I noticed, like when watching your music videos, the people that comment, and I don't like reading comments because usually it's there's trolls.
Oh yeah, of course.
But your page, just people love your music. You put them in a good mood.
Yeah,
they're just some
I
uplifting.
hardly have any trolls at all. Like I'm so
yeah.
lucky. Like I know it's like. I never really have to delete comments off, and sometimes I just leave them anyway because like my fans will troll the person back.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only time I got trolls is when I was like, I'm not gonna get something that everyone seems to be getting in the last 3 years, but I'm not getting that thing, and then everyone went bananas that I didn't want to, if you know what I mean. You want me to say?
Oh, the shot.
Yeah, the shot.
The shot,
yeah. Shh. Your show will be banned.
You should be wearing a mask.
Oh, no. Newsflash, masks don't work.
Well, I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, don't comment because then we're really going to go into Alex Jones, Kanye West territory.
I'm supposed to be unbiased here.
Yeah,
so
you're unbiased. I'm not.
Yeah.
So if you listen to my show on Dash Thursdays, 7 p.m. PST, I go all in. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, totally.
So when you wanted to do music, because you said you'd play the guitar and whatnot, when was that moment where you're like, I'm going to put out my first album? Was it Strictly
Platinum?
Strictly Platinum.
Well, I had I'd been playing guitar in bands. I was in this band called the Gamma Rays, and at that time it was really cool to put out 45s. So we were putting out 45s on this Washington D.C. label called Teen Beat, and I was sort of like in this cool indie rock scene in New York. The beginnings of which was, for example, like bands that went on to become like LCD Sound System, and like it was all this like really cool New York City scene. And I was just like doing my thing, and then there was this awesome guy. I want to shout out Jason McFadden. He's from Canada, and he was like, I want to make your first record. So in 1995, he paid for me to go in to this studio in New York and make my first record, which was so cool. And so my first album came out on his label, which was called Fifth Beatle Records.
So it really came out from Canada.
It really did.
Yeah, because I saw that. I looked at the credits and I saw Canada, and I was like, I figured it was the record label.
Yeah.
But
wow, you really did your research.
well, I like that.
You really dug deep.
Well, I like that type of thing.
I like that.
I like to see the credits and
the story.
Yeah, the story. I mean, nowadays, anyone you don't even need to fill it out.
Yeah.
But you can look on Discogs and hopefully you'll find something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so when you were in your band, were you the lead singer or?
No, in that band, in the first band I was in, I was the guitar player in the Gamma Rays, and it was an all-girl band, and I was really shy. And I remember going to the singer and just being like, hey, I wrote this song. Can I sing it? And she was like, no, you're the guitar player. I'm the singer. And I was like, I want to be the singer. And then on top of it, like, I was like, I want to do hip hop. And she was like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, oh God. So then I remember quitting the band. I was so scared. I was terrified. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I want to rap and I want to lead a band. Like, I don't know if I can do both of those things. You know, it's the early 90s and there's all like in this indie rock scene and like no real support, you know? But I was like, that's what I want to do. And so I did it.
So are you the prime producer of do you produce all your work or do you?
Well, no. I mean, I basically am like a songwriter and I write all my raps and my melodies and all that, but I get different people to make my tracks.
Okay,
I have done my own tracks as well. But like I quickly realized like I'm not that good of a music producer. Like I'm better as a rapper and songwriter. And yeah.
Because I was just wondering that because you definitely have a style. Like it's influenced obviously off of like punk, classic rock. It's all over the place.
All over the place.
R&B.
Yeah.
But that's what I was wondering because it just sounded like this, the same producer was making all your work. But
well, that's great. I'm so glad that it sounds like that because for me, it's like all over the place. But I guess it's like I'm the unifying factor of the whole thing, I guess, is like my aesthetic or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but you obviously have a lot of influence to making your music. So like if you want to break here, like because I could take one song, for example, and maybe start off like kind of rockish, indie rock.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it goes into like a 80s like hip hop beat.
Yeah.
And then it breaks and then you're like singing kind of classically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how does that come about with that creative process?
I don't know. I guess it's just my crazy brain. I don't know. I like so many different genres of music, you know? It's like, and I guess it's like I love music. I just love music. And so for me, I don't see like, oh, that's an electro track, that's a hip hop track, that's a rock track. Like, I don't know. I don't see it. It just sort of mushes together for me. And so then that's, I guess, how it comes out. Is that like, really, it's just that I'm a fan of music. Like, and a fan like puts it mildly. Like, I feel it so intensely. So that's how it comes out of me.
Yeah. I don't know anyone that's kind of like what you do. I don't know. You maybe know some other artists. I don't know.
Well, no, I don't.
I've never heard your style of music. What you call
I don't even know.
Right?
Yeah, I called it flip flop because it was like I flip flop into different genres of music
in one song.
Yeah,
multiple times.
or even in within one song. Yeah. And so I know I don't. It is weird. Like I'm always like curious when like Spotify or something's like,
what your fans like.
Yeah, what your fans like, or like what you might like or whatever like that. And they always pick good things, but I'm always like, I'm not really like, I guess like some of my stuff sounds like that artist or some of my stuff sounds like that artist. But then if you look at my whole body of work, I'm like, I don't really think I sound like anybody. But thanks for saying that.
No, I don't think you
I
are Princess Superstar. I mean, you are legit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so
I really appreciate
the creativity level I appreciate like 100% because like I said, I can't think of anybody like going all over the place. And really, I think it sounds like you're taking risks more than more musicians do. You know, they stay in a box, they know what they're good at, but you're not afraid to try different things. And that's what I think art is about, right?
I do too. I think it's really about that. And I mean, I think like the best artists always took risks, you know, like David Bowie and people like that. And so I aspire to that. And it's probably also why I have not been like super successful.
Well, you're not mainstream.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you can't really do all of that and make like a shit ton of money. At least I don't think so, not yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put this thing down. I love you, Instagram Lives.
Bye.
The whole thing will come out on
well, you do the math. You're the genius.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the first Tuesday of January. Yeah, let's just say that. The first Tuesday of January. I think it might be the second. I'm not sure. But anyways, thank you for watching here. Love you guys.
What I read was you sent in a demo tape to one of these major labels of one of these bigger hip hop artists, right? Or,
well, but my first demo tape I
Beastie
made
Boys
was,
or something?
Yes, it was Grand Royal, the Beastie Boys, and a guy, his name was Carmelo. He was like, I'm coming to town. And do you have a show? And I was like, no, I have no show. But I said yes. And then I just hastily put together like band members and everything. And then we had a show at the Pyramid, which was also a place where Madonna used to play, this shithole on Avenue A in New York. And that was my first show at like 2 a.m. There was like 5 people there and he wasn't one of them. He never came. But I started then.
But that's exactly what you were saying before. You could just get a bunch of band members and like, we're doing a show.
Yeah, and like, it's probably really bad. I mean, it wasn't probably bad. Like, it was bad. Like, and also I was really nervous, so I just stood there and I was so scared.
Well, that was the beginning.
That's
what you needed.
Yeah.
You didn't call your old bandmates?
No, I didn't. I didn't call them to be my bandmates.
I'm doing hip hop.
Yeah.
It's interesting to do hip hop. Was it hip hop with a band?
Yeah. So exactly. I was at that time in the early 90s, there was a lot of mixture between live music and hip hop. In other words, like if you think about like back then, or the Beastie Boys even, and or like bands like The Roots and like things like that. Like people were mixing live music with hip hop. Yeah.
And is that how you did your strictly platinum?
Yeah, that was, although on there I also sample a lot. Oh my God, I sample a lot of stuff, and which I never got in trouble for because that record never sold. Like it's so crazy the way it works. Like I sampled big artists, I'm not gonna say who, like on that record, but nobody gave a shit about.
But doesn't everyone sample like to a certain extent?
Yeah,
especially
but like
hip hop.
Now you really have to clear it,
Now?
Yeah. But even back then, because it's really only if your song becomes successful. So for example, I had a hit with Bad Babysitter, and this was 2001, and it sampled like a really like little tiny surf rock band person, and they sued us for like $100,000, and then the record label made me pay it back, not the record label. Like somehow it was like a loophole. It totally
because you
sucked.
were the creative.
Yeah.
Right.
And not even the producer. Like I had to do it. And anyway, like back then my business wasn't so tight. But anyway, point is that like I've sampled a million artists and everything like that, but you only get in trouble if it becomes a hit.
And then someone's going to go after you.
Yeah.
What do you think about all these little cases that come out years later, like the Alan Thicke, or no, not Alan Thicke. Was it?
Blurred Lines?
Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm thinking Robin Thicke.
Oh, Robin and Alan Thicke.
He sings.
It's funny though. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, or there's like Taylor Swift, for example. They're going after her now. A couple people.
Oh yeah.
So I was just wondering, what my opinion is, I feel like certain songs, like people just create, and it may sound, sometimes a certain sound may sound like an other song, but how can you prove that? I mean,
well, I don't know, but this is so funny that we're talking about this, because I have a song I want to play it up to the mic. I don't know if it will work, but like I was just doing this today because I have a song from 1999 called "Do It Like a Robot." And then I saw on TikTok there's this new song that it's like exactly the same little bit. I'm gonna play it for the listeners. We're gonna see, and then let's see. Like, it's like, do I go after them because they copied me, or is it kind of just like whatever? You know what? I've sampled artists too. Like, live and let live.
Is your music
like,
on TikTok?
It is. Yeah.
So don't you do like a little signature, like wave it off to the terms of agreement when you put your music on streaming platform? You say it's okay to go on TikTok.
Yeah, definitely. But this is a song out there in the world. That yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not like just a TikTok sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I don't care about that. But like this is actually a song. But okay, let's see if we can.
And someone's
get this.
claiming as that they did it.
Yeah, or they just copied me.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna play. I'll play first. It's mine, and then second is the other part. Okay, you ready? Let's see. Oh wait, what's happening? Sorry.
Is that it?
No, wait. Okay, so
That's a children's album you made.
No. I know, no, because something else. Two things were playing at one time. Okay, here we go. Ready? So that's mine. Go baby, what? Go. Okay. Now here's the other song. Oh shit! Hold on. Check this out. Okay, hold on. This is the second one.
This is the other song.
This is the one that I.
That sounds
think.
exactly the same.
I know.
That sounds like your first song.
I know.
That's
So what do I do?
well, I mean,
I was just going to go on TikTok, and this is what I actually was making this morning, was like a little video that's like, tell the difference between these two songs.
tag the person.
And like tag them and put mine 1999, and theirs now. I mean, their song is dope too. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but they kind of copied me. Or the other thing that happens, and I really do believe this, is that sometimes people don't like willfully copy you.
Well, that's what I was trying
just
to-
like invent something, and because everything's been done before, like they just pull it down from the ether, and like that's their creativity.
well, that's what I was mentioning before. That's what I was asking you about.
Yeah.
That maybe when they made Blur Lines, it wasn't them actually. Oh, I heard this little sample. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
And put in Blur Lines.
Exactly. And that's like, you think about like George Harrison, he got in trouble for My Sweet Lord, My Sweet Lord, na, da, da. And it's like a beautiful love song to the like divine and everything. And he got in trouble because they said he ripped off the Shirelles, I think it was like, he's so fine, do-lang. And you can definitely hear the melody. But like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't like, I'm gonna rip off.
No,
They're
They're just in the studio or whatever making music, and there's so many songs that you'll be listening to and like, oh, I recognize that.
Yeah,
that's from a different song.
Yeah,
but like you said,
exactly.
everything's
been done.
Yeah, everything's been done.
Yeah.
So the legality of like things, like certain like bases you can copy, obviously, because there's not many combinations you can do.
Yeah.
But it's funny how like, is it melodies that you're not supposed to take?
Yeah, melodies, words.
Well, words,
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah.
Lyrics is a big one.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I noticed after you dropped Strictly Platinum, you were just like on fire. I'm gonna do one year after that. You did 3 in a row.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Where were you seeing most of your fan base?
So in the beginning, it was just like really like grassroots DIY underground hip hop stuff in the US. But what happened is that song, Do It Like a Robot, that I just played for you, that song was on this like CD insert in a magazine called Specs in Germany. And like back then, Specs was like the coolest magazine in Germany. And like they loved that song because it was kind of like Kraftwerky, but I was like rapping over it. And this was, 1999. So it's like not many people were doing that. So they loved it. They put it on this magazine, and a German A&R dude whose name's Matthias Kind came and was like, I need to sign you to K7 Records. And I was really excited because I could like quit my job. And also I had been running my own label and working a job. I mean, it was exhausting. It was like, crazy.
What album is this by now?
This was already my, so on my third, so it was like Strictly Platinum, CEO, and then Last of the Great 20th Century Composers. That's where Do It Like a Robot was on. So it was 1999, my third album. And they were like, we want to sign you. And I'm like, that's so great. And this A&R guy from Germany was like, we're going to put you with High and Mighty. They're producers in New York. And I was really excited because they were on Raucous Records, which was Eminem's first label, and like just the total like king of like New York underground hip hop. Like it was just like, and no ladies, no women on this thing or anything. And I was like super excited. And yeah, my A&R guy was so awesome because he knew everything that was happening in New York and all about music from Germany. Like he just had his finger on the pulse, and he put me together with all these amazing producers. And that was the album Princess Superstar Is, which was my breakthrough album because Bad Babysitter started blowing up in the UK.
Yeah, that's my favorite album.
Thanks.
There's so many good tracks on that.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one with Cool Keith and everything.
Yeah, Cool Keith. I like. It's your third. It's like the third track. Keith and Me. I love that track. And then another one that just resonated with me was, I just forgot. It was something. You had 2 parts.
Yeah. Keith and Me, and then there was a
the
remix.
part 2 and a part 1. No.
Oh, Untouchable. Untouchable part 1 and 2. Yeah, one with
Untouchable
Beth
part
Orton.
2. I love that. They're both chill songs.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's like very smooth and chill, and and great features in that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that one is probably I would say is your best body of work in the whole album. You know, because it's like one after.
I love that record a lot, and then I also really like my record My Machine because it was like a science fiction. Like I wanted to make like a sci-fi hip hop electro opera.
Yeah, this is what I was going to tell you. That could have been a musical.
Yeah, and
I just felt like it was a music. I was listening to a musical.
I'm so glad you say that because that's exactly what I wanted it to be. And then also when we did our tour, I got a theater director I guess back to the theater, right? We were talking about that earlier. I got a theater director to direct the live show, and it was so cool and so epic. It was like costume changes and props and like all this stuff, and I was like super devastated because the record didn't do well, and the record label was like, we're pulling you off tour, we're pulling out the tour support, because like you can't as an artist like of a certain level, you make money touring, but then if you want to sort of push to the next level, you need tour support to make it happen. And they just like pulled out, and tour support is money, by the way, in case people don't know. And they pulled out the money, and I had to stop that tour like mid-tour. It's so sad, but I always wanted to like make that into a musical or something.
I was going to ask, would you be interested if on a different project making a Princess Superstar musical? Yeah,
and it's kind of funny because like I actually started working with this guy to make a musical, but a different one, which is more about like my life. But I would like to make a science fiction. I'd like to make a lot of things. So if there's any investors listening, like I have projects for days.
Start writing it. Once you have it, on paper, anything's possible.
That's right. That's right.
People can, I need to see this. Let's do a reading.
Yeah, exactly.
So was that your first big tour then?
Well, I guess I did a big tour for like Bad Babysitter because like I was on Top of the Pops and it was just like madness. Like it was crazy.
That hit the UK charts, right?
Yeah, hit the UK charts, and I was like on all. I was like a bona fide pop star over there during that time, which was wild. Just like we got like a double-decker tour bus, and I was just like jumping up and down.
Europe?
Yeah, and like the tour bus driver, he'd been like with huge bands, and he was just like rolling his eyes, like, "Oh my god!" Like this, because I was like, "Oh my god."
So when you came back here, you just could live your life.
Yeah. Nobody really knew me over here. I mean, like I was like a sort of underground hero over here, but nobody really knew me that much.
Would you say until the Perfect and Exceeder mashup, would that really blew up your career even more?
Yeah. So basically, so like I mentioned, My Machine was a flop, the musical, which was really devastating because like I was like I was
the musical
working
or
the album, which is like I consider a little bit of a musical, but like
which it was.
And I was devastated because I had huge producers on that: Armand Van Helden, Todd Terry, Arthur Baker. Stuart Price, who's such a genius. And like, I had all these incredible producers on that, and I was rapping on electronic tracks, but the whole album was like a flop because in 2005, nobody was really listening to that,
Well, I was also wondering, was that because of the change from, tangible to digital.
Yeah, it could be too. Like, I
because of
don't know.
all the,
Like, 2005 was like a weird era, right? Like,
right. And people were, with Napster and LimeWire.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that would have to do anything with it. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Where
but
did they
you
put? Where did
bring
they?
up an interesting point because, like, I don't know.
Where was the label pushing it out?
Well, they were pushing it in Europe, not so much in the U.S. A little bit in the U.S. But I think it was like back to that thing of like being too weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just like a little too out there for people or something, or I don't know. But what is interesting is the story because Perfect, the original version of Perfect, is on that record.
Well, that's one of the better songs. I would say. I wasn't even listening.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking on my phone.
Yeah.
And I had to look on my phone to see. Oh, this is ringing in my ear. This is catchy.
You like that one?
Yeah.
So that was that, and that was the originals produced by Mighty My, also of Bad Babysitter. So, but nothing happened, and then 2 years later, some DJ took my acapella and put it over Exceder, which was blowing up in the clubs as an instrumental, and that shit just went bananas. And like, I love to tell that story because, if you feel like you're a failure or like things are flopping, like I was devastated that I had to stop my tour. My album was a flop, all that. But then 2 years later, I got the biggest hit of my life. Like, so you just never know. Like, I like to inspire people. Like, if, you failed, like, just keep going because you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to like keep doing your thing.
Did Mason contact you?
No, it wasn't even Mason who put this thing together. It was some DJ for like Ministry of Sound. And to this day, I don't even know who.
Really?
Yeah. Not weird.
So Mason is the producer of Exceder.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we met after the fact, but somebody had put this together and it blew up so big, way more than Bad Babysitter. It became number 3 on the UK charts. And at that time, I was also DJing. So I had like also... This is like the birth of like these years, like the electro clash years of like mixing all the genres and stuff.
Well, 2008, 9, 10, 11 was like a big boom for the EDM scene.
Exactly. And so I was DJing and I was loving it because I could go DJ and then like take the mic, go out on stage and do my own track. And there was no band. And I missed the band, but I also didn't because I also was just like this self-contained unit and I could just go and do my thing. And then like, touring with a band is like it's like difficult, and like
process.
Yeah. But I loved DJing a lot. And so I was DJing during that time. And with that hit, it was crazy. Like I was just flown all over the world I was like, living in New York, and then I'd go to Europe for the weekend and DJ, and then come back to New York, and then go the following week. I was commuting to Europe. Like it was a crazy time and an amazing time. But there's like one horrible thing that happened in there, which is that the head of Ministry of Sound made this video for Perfect Exceder, and he was telling me on the phone, like, yeah, you can be creative director, you'll be in it and you'll help us make, because I've always been very like hands-on on all my visuals and all my things. And they made a video without me. And it was like during the time of like, I don't know if you remember Eric Prid's Call on Me and all that.
Of course.
And like,
yeah.
And like, that they're like that workout video.
Yeah.
They basically just made that. They made that for my song, and I never signed off on that. I'm not even in the fucking video.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so that sort of like, for me, like was so intense, like, to not be a part of my biggest song. And then like people didn't even know what I looked like because they thought I was one of those like gymnasts.
Yeah, they're all lip singing there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was surprised when I saw that because you are in all your music videos.
And then not to be in my biggest one is like so bizarre.
Yeah.
And have no say over the artwork or anything.
So who gets the royalties with all that?
Well, luckily I do. Luckily I get the money. But it like kind of was like a bad creative thing for my brand, Like it was like a weird
Well, it was not. That's not really. You make music like that, electro, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was wondering if you would take that remix, you wouldn't give it up, like right, like, but what do you think about? You love your music being remixed and mashed up?
I do. I love
really
it.
like
But I don't like it if you make a video and then put it out and then it gets millions of views and it's like nothing that I would ever sign off on, you know?
So did you part ways?
Yeah. And I like called him crying and it was like so intense. Oh God. But you know, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. I'm grateful that I had a hit. You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's
so
still,
grateful.
it's like 25 million on Spotify.
Yeah, like it's so crazy. Like I get those end of year like Wrapped, whatever Spotify Wrapped, and it's just like millions of And if you dig deep into it, it's just like the like 90% of those millions is that one song, and you're like, what about the rest of my song?
Well, I mean, that Perfect Exceeder was like an EP of so many different type of remixes.
Yeah.
Correct. Who was that person that you don't know that put it together? They released that.
Well, Ministry of Sound kind of put it together. They're just like a machine. They were like a dance music machine.
Yeah, well, they still are.
And they still are. Exactly.
Yeah. But so they released that with all these different remixes, and it just without even telling you.
No, they made
they
made a. But the thing is it really started taking off like this remix. Like it really took
in the
off.
clubs, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And the gyms.
Yeah, the radio. It was
The
radio, right? It's radio.
It was a radio hit.
Radio
yeah,
hit.
huge. I mean, to this day, it's like, it's big. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Exceeder, I think, only has like not even a fraction of the 25 million. I think it's like 2 million. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and then Perfect, the original, has a fraction as well. So it's just like the two great tastes had to be put together.
It was someone genius to put it together.
Yeah, someone genius, exactly. And I'm forever grateful to that person. I just wish that it went down a little different because I think like it's like as a musician, you have a brand, and I think like that kind of just like sidetracked my brand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you took a break after that then.
I really did. I took a break because I was like, that kind of like flipped me out. And then I had a baby.
You had a kid.
Yeah.
When did you get together with your husband?
2009.
Oh, so 2009.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And you've been married with him since.
Yes.
I read, there's this one article that I found. I don't know if it's, I just want to find out if it's true, but they talk about how you went from living your life off like 275. Do you know that article?
275?
A day.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they said you went from rock bottom
Oh, really?
to, back in, the spotlight.
Oh.
Do you know?
Wait, $2.75?
Yeah, they said it was you lived off to feed your daughter and your husband, your family. You had to buy organic pasta and I think it was like 50-cent arugula, and you got Parmesan for free.
Wow, that's an article. That's crazy.
Do you think that's fake or?
No. I mean, I think it's real.
Oh, I mean, I'm not.
No,
I don't know if you think
I'm
it
telling
is.
you.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you right now. We did go through a time where like I had the baby, he lost his job, I was not touring, and I wasn't doing anything, and we had no money. So yes, absolutely, it's real. I'm just surprised that there's like an article about it.
Yeah, it was really though.
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It was written in
because,
2018.
Because I think like it's good for everyone to know like things aren't always what they seem,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really difficult time. And like, I think as an artist, like I've been really lucky. Like I've had, a 30-year career, and it's
that's
like
impressive.
And
especially in the music. Music is they go at each other's throats. I mean, there's so many people are non-existent after 1 year.
Oh yeah. So I've been really lucky, but it's like it's been feast and it's been famine, and that's just the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to send you that article because it was kind of like seemed like it was unfinished because it didn't say what you are now.
Yeah.
It just said, oh, this and this and this. She survived off this, and that was it.
And that.
I was like, but what about now?
Send me $1.
I was like, what about?
You're like, but I saw her shopping in Costco and she's fine.
Yeah, they tagged your Instagram.
They did.
Yeah, I think it was a picture with your daughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was one of your posts.
Crazy.
And it was written in 2018.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, I don't really care. I think like, I'm just grateful that I have a music career. And today, yes, I'm fine. You know, the truth is that I don't make as much as I used to make, like touring and especially DJing, you know,
Well,
like
you're
DJing was
a mother.
Yeah,
You're
I'm-
older.
Yeah, I'm
I
a
mean,
mother.
Most people do slow down at one point.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. And like,
They take breaks.
I'm so grateful because I spend a lot of time with my daughter and we homeschool and like I have the time to do that and that's amazing. But I still make music and I still put out music and I still get paid for music and I get paid for, you know.
You still do features as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you just did a song with Todd Terry not too long ago.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have a relationship with some of these
Exactly.
producers still, right?
Yep.
I noticed, you've done quite a bit of features with some big artists, Moby.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good music video.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about your music videos, I could see that creativity
Yeah.
from your background and everything else you do. Is that your brand? You're full control of the music videos? It looks like it. I'm not. That's why I'm
I
asking
mean,
you.
I'm not always in like full control. Like this one that's going to be coming out on January 12th. I'm really excited about. It's called Who Am I Now? And I did that with Ned Ambler, and he's one of my really early collaborators. Like he's a visual genius, like creative director, amazing person, and I just let him go full.
So it's
like-
you already trust him, but he
right.
already knows what your brand is,
Yes,
like what
and
you
he
like.
knows- yeah, and he sort of like almost invented my brand because for Strictly Platinum, I had brown hair and he's like, no, you're going to go platinum. You know, he was just like, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And then I've been platinum ever since, you know, my hair and like put me in a tie and all this stuff. And I was like, rappers don't wear ties. And I was like, but I trusted him, you know, he's just like, and he's such an incredible, like, he's really worked in fashion. Like he cast like this controversial Calvin Klein ad, which was like these guys like in like on like wood paneling. It was like borderline porn, like in the 90s. And like, you know, he's worked with like Steven Meisel and like all these huge photographers. And he gave it all up to be like a Buddhist. And but he came out of his woodwork to work for me, like work with me, I should say, because he's just incredible. Yeah.
He's like, can't contain the creativity.
Yeah.
You gotta break the meditation.
Yeah.
But you have your music videos, like some of them, like it looks like you did one with almost like you're doing a selfie the whole time.
I'm trying to think which one that is.
Well, some of them look like you've done on your phone.
Really?
Yeah. Or even the one where I really like the song. It's like almost like a ballad in a way, but it has like the editing is amazing. All this like classic footage.
Yeah.
It's all.
Oh yeah, that was made on my Love is Dope.
Love
That
is
was
Dope,
made on
yeah.
my phone. Exactly.
I mean, the editing on that is great. I loved it. It was like all those clips and everything. But there's other ones that you done. I mean, I can't think of the title.
Oh, I think the other one I made on my phone was I Feel Like Shit Today.
We have
That was
running.
on-
It was like you were in the end of it. You're like
Yeah.
yawning on the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that was I
Yes.
Feel Like Shit
Yeah,
Today.
that
Yeah.
And that one, when I read someone's comment, they're like, I don't know why, but this put me in the best mood. They're like,
I
thank
know.
you.
I really get a lot of that. I'm so happy. It makes me so happy that like I can be of service in that way and make people happy. Like, you know, like it's great.
All right. How did you meet Margaret Cho and start working with her?
So let's see. I went to one of her shows out here in LA before I moved here, and she like was like, "Oh my God, Princess Superstar! I'm a huge fan." In fact, I loved Princess Superstar is so much that I like copied your pose on the cover of my record. I did, you know, so if you see her, it's like, I forget what the name of her record was, but she's like holding her hands up like this and like kind of posing like I pose on the cover there. And I was like, oh my God, we should do like a song together. And, you know, that turned into like
A few songs.
Yeah, like 4 songs or something. So that's cool.
Yeah, and but you like writing that kind of comedic genre of music.
I do.
And then you get to act in it, and
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to your roots because you are acting in a lot of this
I know.
stuff.
It's kind of funny because, like, you know, I just was like,
You were
know,
a flea.
Yeah.
And, that's
Flea.
Stephen Colbert. I was like, is she ever going to sing? And then you were just a flea the whole time.
Oh, yeah, I know. I wanted to sing in that, but no, I was just a hip hop dancing flea.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
The music video I was thinking of was the one you did in New York in Times Square.
Oh yeah, I'm a firecracker.
Yeah. Do you do you do that Renegade or do you?
Yeah, Renegade.
Yeah,
for sure. Like yeah.
Do you do a lot of stuff Renegade?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, because I'm not going to pay for permits and stuff. I mean, like back in the day, the labels would pay for videos, but they don't anymore. And that's why you're seeing all this lo-fi stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
but this next one coming, though, it's like lo-fi, but it's actually more produced. So that's good.
The Pussy Poppin' one.
Puss and Pop was produced.
Was that's produced.
Yeah.
So your next song that's coming out.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Who am I now?
Who am I now?
Yeah.
You want to you talked about it a little bit, but.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because it's like kind of like I was going through a big writer's block of like, I don't like, what do I even talk about? Okay. Because like I used to like rap a lot about sex and stuff. And like, you know, and that was really edgy back then because like no women were really rapping about sex a lot. But now everybody is. And it's just like, who cares? And now I'm a mom too. And now I'm older. And like, what do I even, and then like, I also had a lot of pain too, like about like, well, geez, like, would I be like way more successful and richer now if I had done a few different things in my life? And so like that was sort of like the pain was stopping me from writing. And even like, does anyone even care anymore? You know, like that kind
like
of
type
things.
Of pain?
Like emotional.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, does anyone even care about me anymore and anything? So I decided to put that in a song. But you know, in a funny way too. So it's not just so like, you know, but it's definitely like questioning, like I'm not having a midlife crisis at all. Like I'm actually super happy in my life, but I'm also like, well, what am I as an artist now? Like who am I as an artist? And what do I want to say anymore? Like what even matters? Or do I, you know, do people still care and all that? So I sort of put that in the music. And then the track is so dope. It's this track called Sleepy Hollow. And it's a track I used to DJ out. And it's like a German producer. And it's from like the 2000s. And so it's just like this incredible track. And I called him up and asked him if I could use it. And he said, yeah. And so in a way, it's like another kind of Exeter type of situation, except for this one's not as catchy.
You never know.
Although you never know, because it's really telling a story and it's really from my heart. And it's really like, I think it's really powerful. And the video is going to be sick.
And it's dropping beginning of the year.
Yeah, January 12th.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite, like top favorite lyrical lines you've written?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's so hard. I mean,
like if you had, I was going to say top 5, but that'd be very difficult. But just that.
I mean, I really like the getting older thing because I think that's funny. You know, like I already rapped it for you before the getting older line. I thought that was really funny. I don't know. Because you know, like this stuff sort of just like blurs together for me. Like I forget. Like even you were asking me about my albums, and I'm like, I forget. Like
we've done so many.
yeah. But I will say that like My Machine is probably my favorite album that I've done, along with Princess Superstar is. Yeah.
But you can't think of anything.
But I mean, I used to do this thing. This is not on any album, but I used to do this live. I used to go grandiose from coast to coast, cut it close, lyrical glass nose, keep my glass close. In my past life, I was a past hoe, keep my ass hose, El Paso to a castle. Don't hassle, clean my don't hassle. I don't know. I could never go on Sway. I forgot. Yeah, that was one.
Okay. That was good. You can try again.
No, I can't. Let's go.
Well, you have a lot. Like, there's a lot of like snippet clips that someone could use. You know.
Yeah.
And then you could turn it into something more.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something funny or not.
Exactly.
I mean, how do you when you write? You just write, or do you think of music as well? Like behind it, a beat or.
Sometimes I'll get an idea, and that's always a wonderful thing. And then I'll grab, paper or my phone or something and write down the idea. But I never really can write like full lyrics unless I have the track.
Have a beat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Sometimes I just go
So you
on.
do it on the fly?
Yeah, sometimes I just go on like beatstars.com and grab someone's beat
yeah.
and just like write to it or something and then get the real track or some, but I have also gotten tracks off BeatStars. I like BeatStars. It's like this whole producer marketplace.
And then is it free source or?
No, you have to
Oh,
pay.
you just pay. I mean, okay.
You just pay.
You know, producers are putting the music on there, so you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go soon. Oh yeah.
okay, we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. This is fun though.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a long career, obviously. The longevity. What would be your advice to people that would want to have that longevity as you have?
I think, like I said before, like you're going to fail a lot and don't be afraid of failing. Just keep going and do what you love. Like, you know, even now, like I'm making these really stupid reels. I'm having so much fun. Like I love doing it. I'm just having fun. And so I think like, it's like follow what you love doing and don't put too much attention on like what people think or if you're successful. I would never just like go after fame. Like that's a really shitty goal. Just go after like creating incredible things that make you and maybe like 3 other people smile or like that they love, you know, that they love it.
Yeah, and then hopefully they'll share it.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty, then we'll wrap it up.
Well, it's been so nice talking to you. I really appreciate the depth to which you went. Like your deep dive on Princess Superstar.
Princess Superstar. I told you before, I'm superstarred out.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to like hear this and and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Look forward to the music video.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Tasty Tuesdays.
Thanking you for your time this time. Until next time, we'll see you again next week, same time, same channel.